All right, we're ready.
According to an article by Sentient Health written in 2023, the average American eats around 327.5 pounds of meat per day. Which is around the weight of let's say a large fridge. Today, I am going to invite you to maybe consider eating less meat. And as someone who has tried this change in their diet, I know a lot about it. Specifically, I will be talking about how it affects your physical health, how it affects the environment, and then I will open up my speech for a discussion. So, first of all, how will eating less meat affect your physical health? Well, for one, more plant heavier diets can have many benefits for your health. According to an article by Mayo Clinic in 2022, plant-rich diets are high in fiber, vitamins, and other essential nutrients. On top of that, they're lower in calorie and fat intake. On top of that, the simple consumption of meat itself can have a variety of negative impacts on your physical health, as well. Another article written by Harvard in 2022 states that the consumption of red meat can lead to a higher risk of cancer, heart disease, and even diabetes. So essentially, by eating less meat and switching to a more plant heavy diet, you can reduce these negative effects majorly. And on top of that, meat, the consumption of meat can also impacts the environment significantly. For example, the meat production industry is a large producer of greenhouse gases. And for those who don't know, greenhouse gases are essentially gases that get trapped within the earth, heating it up, and are a main cause of global warming. According to an article written by Stanford in 2011, the meat production accounts for around 18% of global greenhouse gas emissions, and including 9% of carbon dioxide, and a staggering 37% of methane emissions. On top of that, global livestock farming can also lead to major deforestation, soil erosion, and major decreases in naturally occurring fresh water. Now that you know more about how eating less how eating less meat can affect yourself and the world around you. I would like to open up for a discussion, so I can hear your thoughts. And I would like to ask the question, based on what you now know, do you think that this diet change that is something that you would implement, and why or why not?
I think it's really interesting that there's an environmental impact. I didn't know about that. I think it would be easy for me to decrease like my meat intake like day to day, because I feel like I don't really eat a lot of meat day to day besides like bacon. But I will say that I really love Korean barbecue restaurants. So I feel like every time I go to a Korean barbecue restaurant, I feel like I eat like a week's worth of meat. So,
That's fair. That's fair.
So I guess it just depends.
It'll be hard for me to lower that because of doctors recommending high sources of meat because of my heart condition. But also, I'm a big lover of biscuits and gravy. Throw a little bit of sausage little pieces in there, and I gotta have that. If not, it's gonna taste bland to me. So,
Very fair.
I would love to do that, but I can't.
I'm not gonna change my diet much, even though I know that the meat industry makes up for one of the largest amounts of greenhouse gases in the entire world.
I think
large amount.
It was around 18%.
Yeah, it's also obviously the animal cruelty and everything. But like, I've grown up and gone through my life eating a lot of meat. It would be an extreme change to just suddenly change that.
That's fair.
I don't have a very large stomach, so it would be kind of difficult to keep up with the protein intake I would need versus the other sections of the food at the same time. It's just, the amount of things you would need to eat the same protein goals with a plant diet is just, I don't think I could achieve it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not against changing my diet. The problem is that none of the alternatives so far have really hit the same spot in terms of taste or just multitude of other things. So, maybe if the alternatives were better, I consider it a longer term change.
Hey.
I think it's great information. I think it's a great speed. But I'm a very protein source guy, but I think it's a great speech, great information. It's just not really.
Well, in conclusion, I have invited you to consider eating less meat, and I have done so by talking about how meat can affect your physical health, how it can affect the environment, and holding a discussion with you all. Thank you. There, everybody else.
It's over with.